Let me set the record straight right now. If you want to win big money playing tournament poker, you're just going to have to play aggressively. It's simply just not a coincidence that all the guys you see on TV winning millions of dollars, they all have one thing in common, and that's aggression. So what exactly does it mean to be aggressive? Well, the idea behind being aggressive is to push the limits, fight for lots of pots, and get active in the game. The opposing strategy would be to sit back, wait for premium hands, and just hope that someone plays with you when you get a big hand. Several key problems with that conservative strategy. Number one, you simply won't be dealt enough premium hands to stay afloat. In no-limit hold'em tournaments, the blinds and antes continue to escalate, and this forces you to gamble. If you just sit there and wait for pocket aces or pocket kings, you'll end up anteing yourself to death. Two, you become way too predictable. If everyone sees that you aren't playing very many hands, they'll know that when you do enter a pot, you have a monster. Thus, if they have a marginal hand, they won't give you the action you want. Number three, no one will fear you, okay? If your opponents pick up on the fact that you're playing very conservatively, they'll repeatedly attack your blind, knowing that you won't call unless you happen to have a strong hand. That's not the image you want. You're much better off being known as a pest that won't let others breathe. The key to being successfully aggressive is to be selectively aggressive. Going overboard with your aggressive approach can easily turn you into being just reckless. In fact, I'd like to introduce a new term called cautious aggression. While those two terms seem to contradict each other, I'd like to explain further how a cautiously aggressive player approaches no-limit play. For example, a cautiously aggressive player will raise more than his fair share of pots, looking to pick up the blinds first, pick up the pot on the flop second, and hope to make a strong hand third. If he gets any resistance from his opponents, he'll duck and cover by throwing his hand away unless he's got a very strong hand himself. If you think of it in terms of boxing, for example, a cautiously aggressive player will throw lots of jabs, but he'll always guard his chin, constantly jabbing while dodging punches from their opponents. When their opponents get sloppy and leave their chin open, the cautiously aggressive player will take him out with one knockout punch. On the surface, this seems like a brute, chaotic approach, but realistically, it's all rooted in basic mathematical rules. Let's look at an example. Say the blinds are 400, 800 with a 100 ante at a 9-handed table. Already there's 2,100 in the pot. An aggressive player may decide to raise the bet to 2,000, risking to 2,000 to win 2,100 if everyone folds. One thing we know about Hold'em is that it's very difficult to pick up a premium two-card combination. If that aggressive player is up against a table full of conservative players, he'll pick up the blinds well over 50% of the time. The key adjustment that a cautiously aggressive player would make is that if one of his conservative opponents does call or even re-raise, he'll cut his losses and look to steal the next pot. That is, of course, if the aggressive player himself doesn't have a premium hand. You see, that's when the aggressive player gets a chance to throw the knockout punch. Since he's playing so many hands, the aggressive player is more likely to get action when he has the nuts. So again, it's jab, 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 duck and cover, then throw the knockout punch. Everybody hates playing against aggressive players, and for good reason. They're difficult to read, and they're always putting the pressure back on you. Why not be that guy? Why not be the bully pushing everyone else around?